Good morning, Vlogidays number 12. So I'm beginning my day. It's going on 7:30 in the morning. I'm dressed for the day. I have my pretty earrings that I got from Jenny. They're just really pretty. I just like how they dangle and so forth. And then I have my snowflake. I don't hardly ever wear this. I forget to wear it in the winter because I put on different necklaces, but I'm wearing it today. So I've got to go get Alex up, and when I go in there, his room's still going to be kind of dark a little bit, because when I wake a person up, unless a person's like late, like when my kids were at school, and they were just really running late because they were laying in bed too long, then yeah, I'd go in and turn on the light. But normally when I wake a person up to just wake them up, I don't like turning on the light because it startles people sometimes. And me, I have always hated when I would be sleeping and like my husband would come, or even one of my kids would just come and flip on the light. And I just don't like to be woke up like that. I don't think a lot of people do. So anyway, I am not going to startle him like that. I'm going to try to turn on like the hall light so that it'll give a little bit of light in there till I can get the light on. But anyway, I got to get him up. It looks like it's going to rain today. I don't know if it is or what, but it is supposed to, I think, start snowing by the end of the week. We'll see. So let's look outside. Oh, look, I got my little Kelsey in the chair. So the leaves finally fell off the maple tree. I got leaves all in the yard. Harry's been getting them up every weekend. So yeah, it's just a drab, kind of damp looking day. Okay, this is coming here in the hall. Let's turn the light on. Yeah, you still can't see. It's dark in here. Okay, we've tried to do wakey wakey, but he's still sacked out. Alex, it's time to wake up, silly. You have to go to school. Sometimes when he's tired like that, I just pick him up and carry him downstairs. And once he hears the television and whatever kid shows are playing, he starts waking up. So I think that's what I'm going to have to do today. So now I have to find what clothes I'm going to put on him today. So today's outfits are blue shoes, and he's got these sweatpants. They're navy blue with the neon yellow on it, and then the shirt's really cute. It says "Play to Win." So that's what he's going to wear today. And now I've got to pick him up and carry him downstairs. Are we watching The Lion Guard? Are you watching Lion Guard? I brought the camera in here because he was snuggling close to Chloe. And I came back and then he's just sitting there. He's still waking up. Aw, are you gonna cuddle with Chloe? He likes the dogs. Even these. He likes to climb on them, and he pets them, and sometimes he hugs them. Do you like your doggies? Say I do. Okay, Bubby's got to go get your lunch together. So I gave him some Cocoa Puffs. He hasn't eaten any yet. He's still waking up. He's still pretty groggy. But he's having Cocoa Puffs this morning. And I gave him his milk. And so now I gotta pack his lunch. Okay, so while I'm getting Alex's lunch, I thought that I would share something with you guys regarding kids with autism, or they're on the spectrum. Like, Alex isn't like autistic, he's just on the spectrum. And as I've shared before, he does everything that he's supposed to for a 3-year-old and more, because he's actually really smart. But he's on the spectrum, The only thing he can't do is like communicate. He can say words, but to just communicate, he's just not there yet. But anyway, even kids that get on the spectrum, they have issues with their senses, meaning their senses are more keen than ours. That's why, like, when you hear or see autistic kids, and like if something's loud or they hear a loud sound, and they'll keep their ears covered, or some autistic kids, the loud sounds and noises bother them and actually make them cry. Now that doesn't happen to Alex, but they can just hear better. They probably, all their senses are just a little bit more fine-tuned than ours, so to speak. But that's the other thing is when they go to eat their food, it's not that their taste, that they could probably taste things different. I don't know. They're guessing, okay, those that study autistic kids, it's the feeling of the food that's in their mouth. I think it could be their taste buds too. I think that there's things that Alex used to eat and he used to love to eat that he doesn't eat now. Is it because it doesn't taste good to him anymore? It tastes different? That it could be that, but the experts say that it's the taste of, not the taste of, the feeling of how it feels when it's in their mouth. That could be too. But anyway, Alex loves chicken, and when we make chicken, it doesn't matter if it's chicken nuggets, if it's baked chicken, if it's grilled chicken, if it's fried chicken, it doesn't matter. If you give him like regular chicken, he might eat it, but he won't gobble it up, even though he loves it. And I think it's because like chicken, it's like shredded a little bit, like chicken nuggets or, you know, things like that. And I think that is a little strange when it's in his mouth, but he does like chicken. Now, I don't like to give him processed stuff if at all possible. So like he does like chicken lunch meat. He will eat turkey, but he really doesn't like turkey. It has to be the chicken. Now he can, you know, tell the difference between the two. But over at the deli and even at your grocery stores, they should carry different brands of meats that is like the good stuff. It's not all that processed stuff. We get this chicken at our grocery store, and it's chicken breast, and it's not like processed, put together to look like a chicken breast. It's chicken breast. And this lunch meat is even a lot more expensive than regular other brands of chicken breast. So I'll just show you. I think I've showed you guys this before. For 1.5 pounds, which is what this was, the unit price is $10.99. So for just a little over a pound, we paid $11.54, almost $12. But this is like cut right off of the chicken breast. Let me open it up and show you. There it is, and you can even see the grains of the meat. This is like just thinly sliced off of a chicken breast. Only thing is, you have to pull it apart like this. That's how he likes it. So he gets this every day because he loves this. And as a matter of fact, at dinner time, because he's not a big beef eater, so like we try giving it to him, but he doesn't want it. And so when he doesn't want it, we just pull out a piece, and a slice of this is a good serving size. So he eats lots of chicken, but this is the kind of chicken that he eats, and it's, like I said, it's not that processed stuff. Okay, here's his lunch today. So he's got his chicken, a banana, some Chex Mix. I told you he loves wafer cookies, and he likes those pirouettes too. And he eats these digestives. He likes these, but when you give him those a lot, he'll stop eating them after a while. You got to kind of like take a break. That's another thing with kids on the autism spectrum. Now this is the thing that he could eat this every day, But even after a while, he might get tired of these. He loves Chex Mix, but sometimes he'll even get tired of Chex Mix. You'll have to take like a break for a week or two. That's why I haven't really made it in a couple weeks. But then when I started making again, you know, he gobbles it down. So anyway, but that's his lunch. And then he's got his 2 thermoses of his chocolate milk. We ready to go to school now? Come on. Let's go to school. Come on. Let's go get our coat on. Say, move, Chloe. Before we go to school, we gotta let doggies in. Is Ellie coming in? Lacey? We gotta let the doggies in before we go. I'm trying to find one more dog. I am making those cupcakes I was telling you, and we're starting by putting some red cupcake liners, if you can find them. Line your cupcake pans with that. And I'm making my red velvet cake, which I've shared this before, probably a couple times. And look at all the red food coloring here, because this is one of the first cookbooks that I got when I was married. And I used it for quite a bit of things, and one of the things was red velvet cake. So here, I'm going to show you, get out of the light there. That's my red velvet cake that I use right here. So you can screenshot this or put it on pause and come and write it down, but that's what I use. So I wanted to give a tip. Okay, I have my butter and sugar and eggs already mixed in here. And now what I want to do is I want to get my red food coloring in. This is one of those things you have to do it in stages, because when you're using a mixer, like if I turn this mixer on, this is going to go all over the place and splatter. I don't want that to happen. So I need 2.5 cups of sifted flour. So once I put this in, I'm already going to go ahead and get 1 cup of flour. And I'm going to kind of, well, here, I got to put this down. I'm going to get this, whoops, I'm going to get it right there, and get that on top, okay? And then when I turn it on, I'm going to turn it on slow. So then you don't get all that splatter. And I'm going to, then you have to alternate this with putting in the 1 cup of buttermilk. So next I'm going to be putting in 1/2 cup of the buttermilk to start loosening this up. Then on the second bottle, I'll do the same thing. I'll dump it, and then I'm going to pour the flour on top of it, and then mix it again, and then put in the rest of the buttermilk. So then after that, I put in the salt, the soda, and the sugar and the cocoa. Okay, so here we go. And I use, some people use an ice cream scoop. I just use like a gravy ladle like this. And go ahead and get them like so. I'm going to fill all those up. Okay, into the oven they go. And those might look a little thick to you. It's because red velvet cake is on the order of a pound cake, so it's supposed to be a little heavier. Now, when I make that recipe, even when I'm making red velvet cake, I mean, I've done the red velvet cake batter and just put it in the pans and it's fine, but it makes it like heavy, like a pound cake. Sometimes I don't want my cake that heavy, so I put like a splash or 2 of milk. Let me just say, if you probably put in about 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk, it will loosen it up a little bit, and that's to the consistency that I like it. But it still looks thick compared to cake batter that you get out of the box. Because cake batter out of the box, it's a little bit kind of, I don't want to say runny, but it's a looser batter, okay? Now, where did I get this idea to do these Santa hats? Okay, so in this Vlogidays, I'm giving back to other YouTubers. I'm sharing other YouTubers' channels. Like yesterday, I didn't come right out and talk about Grandma Cheap Cheap, but she was one of the people who won the giveaway, the You've Been Elfed giveaway. But I mentioned that she had a channel, and I told you to go look at her channel. She's got some good cooking videos on there and so forth, and I really like her. So, like I shared her yesterday. I've shared other channels along the way as I'm doing Vlogidays. So, where I got this idea yesterday, Red Reyna, that's what she goes by on social media. She has a channel. It used to be called Let's Eat Fiction. It's my new mug from Jenny. She's changed it now to the Disney Diner, sharing recipes, and she did these, but they were Mickey Santa hats, and she used Oreo cookies to do Mickey ears. I'm not going to do that. We're just doing Santa hats. So that's where I got the idea to do this. She used the box red velvet cake mix. She even used the Pillsbury frosting. I'm going to make my own buttercream frosting, and I'm going to share a hint or a tip with you on buttercream frosting. For those of you that make your own homemade buttercream frosting, how can you get it where it's like whipped? In other words, if you just use your mixer and mix it, you know, according to the recipe or whatever, you know, sometimes buttercream frosting can be, well, a lot of it kind of starts making you nauseous after a while. I gotta look at my face because I was licking my beater, and I hope I don't have cake mix. I don't. Okay. So anyway, how do you get a buttercream frosting that is a little bit more airy and lighter? Well, Cupcake Jemma, that's the other channel I'm sharing right now. She is a young lady out of London, England. She has her own bakery, and she started out making just cupcakes and various different types of cupcakes. She has a YouTube channel. She uploads every Thursday. Disney Diner, she uploads, I think, randomly. But Cupcake Jemma, every Thursday, she'll have videos, and she shows all kinds of cookies and cupcakes and brownies, and these are all like her recipes and so forth. She does some amazing things. She bakes cakes for weddings and all sorts of things. But she has given the tip with the buttercream frosting how to get it where it's more whipped and airy. And what it is beating your butter, and when you put the sugar in, the butter and the sugar, then beating it for several minutes. You have to beat it longer than you would normally beat it if you were just making regular buttercream frosting. That is the tip. And so when I get ready to do it, I'll show it to you. Another tip in making buttercream frosting, you can use all butter if you want to, or you could use, like a recipe is 1 cup of butter. So you could use 1 stick, which is half of a cup, and half of a cup of butter flavored Crisco. That works. But what I do, because a lot of times I want some white frosting, I use it in decorating, and to get your buttercream frosting as white as possible, one is the extra whipping time. The more you whip it, the whiter the frosting will be, but I used the white Crisco. You still got to use butter. You can't just, I mean, some people just use all Crisco, or half this Crisco, half the butter flavored Crisco. But the fact of the matter is, it's called buttercream frosting because you want that buttery flavor. So I'm going to double the recipe. So I'm going to need 2 sticks, 1 cup, and I'm going to need 1 cup of this. Also, you have to put in vanilla for flavoring. Look for, over in your Wilton section, look for this vanilla that's clear, so it's not brown, because you put that in there, you know, you can discolor it a little bit. To keep it as white as possible, you've got to put more white things in there as possible. So that's white, and then this is clear. This is imitation vanilla. So to give it a more vanilla type flavor, if it calls for 1 teaspoon, I put 2 teaspoons on anything imitation just to bring out the flavor a little bit more. So those are my tips for buttercream frosting, which I'm getting ready to make. Okay, I have another tip to pass along to you. For those of you that like to make gingerbread houses, or like you make sugar cookies or gingerbread men and you pipe the frosting on to decorate your cookies. Some people will use a buttercream frosting, and that's okay, but buttercream frosting won't harden up, and so it makes it difficult when stacking your cookies to store them. When you're making a gingerbread house, especially if you're buying the gingerbread kits, like when we made that gingerbread house for Alex, that stuff that they give you is, I don't even like to use it. I make my own buttercream frosting, and I put in some meringue powder. And when you do that and the frosting begins to dry, it will harden. And especially if you put this meringue powder into buttercream frosting, when you're making a gingerbread house, you can get your house and your roof to get it to all stick where it won't slide and fall apart and everything. My mom, she was so funny. Adam and I were there, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. I think it might have been last year. She was making a gingerbread house for my nephews. And she couldn't get the stuff to stick. And I told her, I said, Mom, that frosting's no good. Even if you make buttercream frosting, you have to have meringue powder. I said, do you have any? And she bakes, but she's not like into like decorating for cakes and cookies like I do, so she didn't have any. And so she finally gave up on it and threw the whole thing out because it wasn't holding together. And that's what I told her, to get some of this the next time. When I am making my gingerbread men and my sugar cookies, I don't really use a buttercream frosting. I will for the gingerbread house. But when I'm decorating my cookies, there's recipes that come with this. There's one for royal icing. I don't use royal icing because that gets really hard. It's not that. It's the other one, pretty basically, here it is. 3 tablespoons of this to 4 cups of confectioner's sugar and 5 tablespoons of water or milk. You could use either. That's the general recipe that I use when I'm decorating my cookies. When I did the gingerbread house, I just made buttercream frosting and I put 3 tablespoons of this into the buttercream frosting. And that's what works really well to hold gingerbread houses together. So I wanted to pass that along with you guys as well. And so now I'm going to start mixing. Another tip. Now this is a KitchenAid. Sometimes even handheld mixers have whisk attachments. If you have a whisk, use that if you can. You can start out with the paddle. Like I could have put the paddle on and then switched over to this, but I'm just gonna do that because I've already washed that. And that's how I feel about being in the kitchen. I don't want to have to keep washing dishes. So let's start out slow. I'm going to kick it up a little bit. Okay, I had that beating for the normal beat time, and then I went another, I don't know, I didn't time it. You can go an extra like 3-4 minutes past that, but look how white that is. So anyway, that's all done. Cupcakes are out, and they're cooling. Okay, here we go. So there we go, Santa hats. So those all still need the white on. Here, Carly, bring it back.
Okay.
So there we go. So red paper. There you go, Santa hats. All right, my Amazon package finally arrived today. I got my batteries and my charger, and my old charger doesn't work for these type of batteries. So I'm still gonna keep it in case I need rechargeable batteries for something. So those are charging, and I got 2 more sets. And this is really weird because I ordered 2 sets of batteries because I didn't think that the charger came with batteries, but evidently it came with the set. But that's good. So I got 3 sets of batteries now. And I got to find where I'm going to keep these things. I used this one little bowl yesterday that I got from Jenny's package. Carly made bread today. I made her do it while I was doing other stuff. And is this hot? It's hot, but anyway, I made meatballs and sauce. And we're getting ready to put the bread in the oven. And here we go. Santa Hat Cupcakes. We nibbled on some cupcakes and we shared even with the girlies, so that's why we're missing some. But anyway, those are in there so the frosting can harden back up a little bit. When you work with that buttercream frosting, it starts to get really soft. Plus, the oven's been on, the stove's been on, making meatballs and sauce and all of that. So anyway, my kitchen is finally getting back to normal. And I had to change my shirt because I was pouring powdered sugar from the bag into the container and it just went all over my face, all over, all my shoes, everywhere. And it's probably on this camera. I probably need to clean the camera. And it's gotten hot in this kitchen that I had to pull my hair back. So anyhow, Carly and I were going to either play bridge or Yahtzee for a little bit. But that's nice. So dessert is done and dinner is done. I just have to cook the pasta when it's dinner time. I was going to try to do a little cleaning today. I'll do some probably later. The house is basically clean. I just need to vacuum and maybe dust a little bit and that sort of thing because I cleaned that bathroom yesterday. I did stuff yesterday, so I don't know. We'll see how my day goes. What is that? Is that a Mickey cupcake? Mm-hmm. Yum! You can have it after you get your bath. Well, you guys, this is one of those short Vlogiday videos. I just spent a lot of time in the kitchen doing the cupcakes and Carly and I making bread, but then we had to clean everything up and then it just, you know, did whatever that needed to be done that I normally do, and that's about it. So I will see you tomorrow. Bye.